Hey guys, this is Techo Freak. Welcome to episode 9 of my custom story creation tutorial for Amnesia Rebirth. And today we're going to be talking about hints. I want to talk about hints mainly because we haven't really touched upon the lang file, and I kind of wanted to get started, and I think hints are a perfect way to do it. We'll also be doing some scripting with the hints, and we'll be showing the hints via script, but I'll also be doing a little bit more advanced scripting, just a tiny bit, give you a taste of some things you could do, and just kind of show off how you can mess around with hints and show them in specific scenarios. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm here in my level editor. We're not actually going to do anything today, but I did want to show this for anybody who hasn't watched the previous videos. In episode 5, we made a callback here for this door. So this door is set to locked right now, and we have a player interact callback here by the name of onInteract player door 1, which will call this function in our script file, and then we can execute any kinds of commands we want, any kinds of functions we want. So if we go over here, you can see in our program here where we're editing, you can see onInteract player door 1, and here we can add whatever we want. Right now we just have a debug message showing that kind of shows us that the player interacted with the door, but we're going to put something in here today, and it's going to be a hint. Before we do that though, let's talk about the lang file. So if you're unaware, we do have a lang file. If you downloaded my sample custom story that I gave you guys, you should have it. But if not, then I'll show you guys where that would be. So here's our mod. It's called the Wake. In our inner config folder here, we have a lang folder, and in our lang folder we have the english.lang file, which pretty much a language file, just kind of houses all the text related information that you're going to be showing the player. It also shows things like item descriptions and stuff like that. So very useful to know how to work with this, and today we're kind of going to touch upon it. And we have it here in our environment already. Under config, we have it under lang, and then the english.lang. If you follow my episode 1 setup, you'd recognize how we got this here. But if you're unfamiliar, then you could just use Notepad++ or any other text editing software to edit this. This is in XML, and we will clear this here. This is a sample message that was in there from the sample pack that we downloaded for this. So we're gonna go ahead and clear that, and we're gonna start adding our entries here. So there's different kinds of entries you can put here. As we start talking about more like messages and stuff like that, and loading screen messages, we'll talk more about how we add stuff here. But today we're just talking about hints. So let's talk about how we add something here. So we're going to have to declare a category name, and then we'll declare our hints after that. So first we'll go ahead and do an open bracket like this, and we're going to do in full caps category, and then we'll do name, only capital in the first here, and you'll do equals, and then you'll type in hints. And this you can set to whatever you want, but I'll talk about more of that in a second. So we'll close that, and then we'll go down 2 lines, and we'll open a new one, and let's just close it as well here, and we'll do slash, and then in caps again, category. So what we're pretty much doing here is we're declaring on this one, we're opening a new category, and we're gonna put stuff inside of it, and the name is gonna be hints, and then we're closing the category here. So we're creating a new category with the name hints. That's essentially the straightforward way of explaining that. So and we'll put 2 spaces here, just to kind of get a little bit of space created here. This has to be wrapped inside of this language. This language part is what declares this file to be a language file, essentially. So everything will have to be within these 2 language entries here. So anyways, category, it's going to be hints. You can change this to anything else if you want to split your hints by category, like hints, and then maybe like I don't know, you could do hints, like scary events or something like that, or hints, you know, I'm trying to think of some, but I can't really think of any off the top of my head, but any kind of specific categories of hints you might want to put, you know, like hints, controls or something. I think the developers have one called like hints controls, that tells you kind of like the controls, but we're just going to call this one hints. And then now right in here we can start making entries, and the entries we declare by opening, and we can close it as well, and we'll do entry, and we'll say name equals, and then here we put a name of our entry. So the entry, what I want to do is I want to make an entry for our door, and we want to give the player a hint when he interacts with the door. So this is gonna be for that. So I'm gonna say there is a bit of convention for this one, like a lot of things. I know I've probably said convention a lot to you guys, but the developers like to put hint in the beginning for the name of an entry, and then the whatever it pertains to. So in this case, we're gonna do like storage door. So that door is our like storage door, and we're gonna say hint storage door, and then we'll go ahead and go here, and now in here is where we're gonna write what we want the hint to say when we show it on the screen. So we're gonna say let's say explore around to locate a way to open this door. So just telling the player you should look around and to find a way to open the door, and then we will go ahead and open and close here, and we'll do slash entry. And again, if you're not completely familiar with XML, it's pretty straightforward, but we're declaring a new entry here, and this is the name, and then over here we're closing it by doing slash entry. Again, so now we have a category by the name of hints. We have the name of an entry in this category, and you can just, you know, you can go crazy here and start making your hints. Copy this and go down the line, and then put another door like hint, you know, hint bathroom door or something like that, and then put your own message here. So you can feel free to do that and just start listing it. And if you want to split it up by category just for your convenience, you know, take this category, paste it below, and then give this a new name. So you can take this and, you know, you want a new category. Okay, so hints, what was the example I gave? Hints scary event, and then you know hint, and then this could be something else like hint took damage or something like that, and then you can fill this in however. So you can have multiple categories. It doesn't just have to be hints, but we're just gonna have a basic one called hints here, and this will be the hint here. Let's fix this little typo we got here. This is pretty much all we need to do in our lang file. So this is just kind of a good introduction to the lang file. So now let's talk about how we can show the hint in our game. So let's go back over to our maps script file. So our map is called starting room. So this is in our HPS file. This is our HPS file in our starting room for our starting room map. And what I'm going to do, like I said, on the on interact player door here, I want to play this message, So let me zoom you guys in now for this, and let's go ahead and create a new line. So the function we want to run here is going to be hint, and you'll get the autocomplete stuff here, underscore, and then we can start looking through these. But the simple one here that we need is show hint, and it gives you the 5 values you can put in. They should be pretty self-explanatory, but I'll go through it with you guys. So as text cat means text category, so whatever the text category you put in your lang file. So if you remember, we put hints, and we'll double check it in a moment too, just to make sure that's right. And then we'll do comma, space, and then another string, and that is whatever we called the entry in our lang file. So this was what was this? This was hint storage door, and then if this is pretty much all you from this point. You don't need the other inputs here. The other inputs, as you can see, This one says false. This one says 1.5. So these have default values if you don't supply them. So for example, like input hint false, time multiplier false, or 1.5f, and then add as given. So I will go through these just so you guys are aware what these are. But this would run here by itself. So we're gonna put a comma here, and let's talk about the next one here. So it wants a boolean value is input hint. So this pretty much is just telling you is the hint related to an input. You know, if you've played the game, it'll tell you, you know, you can left click mouse or click T to do this. It'll tell you buttons that you can press. If this is an input, you would do true. By default, set to false. We will set it to false since this is not an input hint. Then this is the how much time multiplier should be, the message should be shown. I believe it's 4 seconds. So I think by default it's set to 1.5s, so I think it'll show for 8 seconds. I could be wrong there, but you can play around with that. We'll just set this to the same default, 1.5f, and then we'll hit a new line here. And then now the last one is boolean add as given true. So add as given pretty much just means that we're gonna add it to a list kind of in the background. Has this hint already been shown to the player is essentially what this is. So if the hint has already been shown to the player, then it won't show it again. So normally by default this would be set true. It only show you the hint once, it wouldn't show to you again. In this case I want to set this to false because I want the hint to show up every time the player interacts with the door, at least for now, just to demonstrate. But I do want to do some scripting, a little bit of scripting here, just to kind of make it only happen after like the player interacts with the door a set amount of times. And let's get rid of, I think I got a typo here. Let's make sure we get rid of this. I think it was just, yeah, hint storage door. So just hint storage door here, and then let's launch our game. All right, here we are in our level. So let's go over to our door here. So when we grab the door, we should get our hint to show on the screen. So let's go ahead and go to it and let's click on it. So when we interact, we will get our message. And there it is. Explore around to locate a way to open this door. So we got our hint. And since we set that add as given to false, we should be able to see this message every time. We click it again, we can see it again. So if this is a message you want to show the player every time he interacts with the door, because the door is locked, you can do that. But we're gonna get a little bit more detailed with it. So let's go ahead and go back to our editor, and let's go ahead and talk about how we're gonna add a little bit more detail to this. All right, so here we are back in our editor. So now let's talk about how we're gonna add a bit more detail to this. So like I said, what I wanted to do is I want to make it so that when the player interacts with it, he'll get the message, right? But then it won't show him the message. But if, let's say, he continues to interact with it, I'm going to assume that the players may be struggling to find out what to do. So then we're going to show the message to him again after a set number of times. So that's what I want to do. There's one important function we're going to need to know here, and that's to check if the door is locked here. So we want to check if the door is locked because we really don't want to show this hint if it's locked. If it's not locked, then there's no point in showing this message. So right off the bat, that's the first thing we want to do. So the way we do that, we're going to do if, and then we're going to do open bracket here, open curly brace, and we're going to go ahead and close it down here as well. And we're going to say if swing door, and there's different categories for doors. So like if it was a level door, for example, you would do level door, and I think there's like slide doors too. Yeah, slide door. So just know what type of door you're working with. We're doing swing door here, so we're gonna do swing door, and then we're gonna do underscore get locked. So you should see it already come up here for right off the bat. So we'll go ahead and hit tab here, and we'll have it here, and all it needs is the name of the door. So if you followed along with this with our episode 5 video on interacting with the player door, you would know that when you call on interact player door, that one of the values it passes in is as entity, which is the name of the object that's being interacted with. In this case, it's the door. So we can go ahead and just put in as entity here, and that will check if this door is locked. So now in here, now we know that this door is locked. If this passes, we know it's locked, and we can start doing stuff in here. So what we want to do is we're going to do if, and we'll do open curly brace, and we'll close it as well. And then if you look in hint, so we'll type in hint, you can see there's a whole bunch of things you can do. You can do, you know, is given, stop hints, block hints, is showing a hint, you know, pulls a hint. You can do a whole bunch. You can do a whole bunch of things. And what I want to do is I want to do hint underscore is given. So we're going to check if a hint has already been given, and if not, then we're going to do something. So we're going to do hint is given, and this pretty much takes the first two here, the hint category and the hint and the hint entry. So we'll go ahead and just copy this one here, and we'll paste it in here. So what we want is if the hint isn't given here. So the way you negate this is by putting an exclamation point in the beginning. So this is pretty much a not operator. So we're saying if hint is not given, then we will do something here. So, and we're checking with these two values here. So if the hint is not given, which means we haven't given the hint to the player yet, we're going to do this, and this is what it is. So we're going to take this hint and we're going to put it in here, and we're going to go ahead and show the player the hint. And again, the last value here is what determines if the hint has been shown or not. We'll set this to true now. So we'll say that, you know, now that the hints, we'll show the hint, and since this is true, the hint won't be shown again. So just to run through this one last time, you know, if the hint is not given, this one specifically, hint storage door, then we're going to go ahead and show that hint. And we'll set the last value here to true, which tells it to disable the hint when we're done. When we're done showing the hint. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a new line here, and we're going to put something in here. But first I want to talk about global variables. So what we're going to do is we're going to declare a global variable. And if you don't know what a global variable is, it's pretty much a value that you can specify that can be accessed by anywhere in your script. So for example, let's go up here. We have our functions here. So what we'll do is we're going to put all our global variables, including any that we make in the future, right here. So we're going to do 2 forward slashes. We're just going to say, you know, my global variables. And then what we'll do is we'll create a new global variable here. It's going to be an integer, so it's going to be int, and we're going to give it a name. And we're going to say storage door times interacted. So storage door times interacted, and we're going to set this equal to 0. So by default, you know, when the game starts up, this is going to be 0. So we have a global variable now, storage door times interacted. So there's the number of times the door has been interacted, and by default it will be 0. So we're going to set it to 0. Now let's scroll back down here to where we have our interact. And now what we're going to do is we're going to say if, and then we'll have open and close parentheses here. We'll go ahead and do the curly braces again, and we'll say if storage door times interacted. So it'll autocomplete if you're using this editor, but if not, you can just type the whole thing. And we'll hit space, and we'll say greater than 4. So what we're saying is if that number is greater than 4, then we're going to do something. So what we're going to do is we're going to first of all set that that counter that we have set back to 0. And we'll explain why we're doing this in a moment. But then after that, we're going to do hint, and we're going to do remove from given, And again, we're going to need these two first parameters. And if you know, there's another value here, and this pretty much just specifies how much time until the message is cleared how much time until it's cleared. So we want to do it right away, so we're not even gonna put that in. We're just gonna put the two first values here, and then we're gonna go ahead and hit a semicolon here. So now what we're saying is, if the storage door has been interacted with more than 4 times, we're gonna set it back to 0. We're gonna remove the hint that we have from ever being given. So, you know, this same check right here that we do here, we're going to remove it from ever being given so that next time it will show up with the hint. So, and then of course we have to make sure that we are increasing this number. So we'll do else, and then we'll do storage door times interacted plus equals 1. And we'll close it with a semicolon there. So now let's do a full run through of what's going to happen here. So we have this global variable times interacted is equal to 0. So first thing we do when the player interacts with the door, it's going to check. It's going to see if that door is locked. If it is, good. We want to check if a hint hasn't already been given for this specific hint. If it hasn't, we're going to go ahead and show that hint. Then if this is the first time it's running through this is not gonna pass, so it's just gonna skip, and it's gonna do this one here, and it's gonna put up our counter by 1. And now let's say next time the player interacts with this door, and let's say he interacts with it 4 times, so this counter has gone up to 4, and now this is his 5th time. So this is his 5th time going through this here. It's gonna be it's gonna fall under this category now. So it's going to say storage door times interacted 4/4, and we're going to set that to 0. We're going to go ahead and remove that hint from ever being given. So we're going to tell the game, like, look, this hint hasn't been given no more. So now the next time that the player interacts with the door, he will, this check here, hint is given, will be true because it wasn't given because we removed it here, and then it will show the hint again. So what we're doing here is, again, the whole purpose of this, if the player starts interacting with the door a lot, we're gonna assume that he's struggling to figure out what he's doing. So we're gonna go ahead and show the message to him again, and this will keep on repeating after if he does it another 4 times, and he'll get the message again, or after 4 times. So it should show on his 6th attempt, and it will just keep doing this continuously. So let's go ahead and test that out. Let's go ahead and launch the game here. We're gonna go ahead and hit F7 to launch our game. Alright, so here we are back in our level. So let's go ahead and go to our door. So we're gonna go ahead and interact with it here. And then there's our hint, explore around to locate a way to open the door. So we're gonna go ahead and interact with it again when this hint goes away, and we shouldn't get a message to come up. So that's just a hint that's built into the game. Let's click it again. So again, that's a hint that's built into the game. If I think by default, if the game thinks if you're interacting with the door a lot, the game tries to give you a hint. So let's hit it again. So let's hit it again, and now I believe this should be the time where we should get our message to come up again. And there it is. Explore around to locate a way to open this door. So our message works. So let's try hitting it again just once it goes away, and there it is again. It's not showing us our hint, and let's keep doing it. Let's keep doing it. Let's keep doing it. And I think now, right? Or now, yeah, there it goes. So now we get the hint again. So useful way to use the hint. Let's go ahead and exit here, and let's go back to our script. There's one last thing I want to mention, and I just want to run through some of the functions again. So let's go ahead and go back to our script. Alright, so here we are back in our script. So this all works. We just tested it. It's all working. Pretty useful, pretty fun thing to do to help your players, kind of figure out, how to do things in your level, especially since it's a custom story and they might not have any info on how to beat levels and stuff. So very good to put in your levels. Very good detail to add. But I also want to talk about some other kinds of hint, because there's actually 4 kinds of hints you can show. This is just a basic hint, just a hint. But there's other ones, and we're going to run through some of these other functions too. So we're going to do hint, and then I'll cycle through these. There's 4 kinds of hints. There are hints, there's alerts, there's danger, and there's info. And if we scroll down here, you can see show alert. So we'll just put it down here, just to kind of show it. So we have hint, show alert. We have hint, and if we scroll down, we can find some other ones. So hint, show danger, and we'll do hint underscore show, and then we'll do all the way down, and we'll do we'll do info right here. So these are the 4. So we have our hint, our main one here, hint show, or show hint. Then we have show alert, show danger, show info, and all this pretty much does is, you notice when the hint shows on the screen, it says hint, and then it has our hint right underneath that. So if you do show alert, it'll say alert, and then it'll show your hint. Then it'll say, or if you do show danger, it'll say danger, and then it'll show the word below. And then if you do info, it'll say info, and then it'll show your hint right below that. So those are the 4 kinds. If if it applies to any of these categories, you can go ahead and use these instead of using show hint here. But the values here are exactly the same. So like I could literally just come in here, change this to danger, and show danger, and this will work perfectly fine in our level. So we'll change that back though, and then so that's good to know. And let's just run through some of these other functions here. I could spend, I could have an hour or 2 hour long video just literally running through all these and showing you guys, but I kind of want you guys to play with these and kind of use them wherever you need. So I just want to run through a few of these that are pretty interesting. So is given, we showed that one today. Show hand, we ran through that one. Remove from given, we did that one today. Show info, I just mentioned that one. Add as given. So this one's pretty useful. This one, add as given. You know how we have this value here where we set to true that adds that tells it that we have given a player a hint. If let's say you didn't want to show the hint, but you still wanted to put the hint as it was already given, you can do it here. You do add as given, you put in the same 2 values we have here, hints and hint storage door, and you can accomplish the same thing. So let's keep going through here. Show alert, we talked about danger, we talked about that one. Stop hint, pretty useful if you want to stop any hints. You could do hint, stop hint, and then what it'll do, it'll stop any hints on the screen. You can put in the amount of time until it does go away, but if you just want it to go away right away, you don't have to put anything. You just do, like, for example, hint, stop hint, and that's it. Any hints on the screen will go away. But if you do want to, like, make a hint disappear after a set amount of time, you can have a delay. So you can do 1.0f, and then you can delay how long the hints will get cleared from your screen. Useful if there's an area that has like maybe some kind of scripted event of yours and you really don't want a hint to come up at the worst time for the player. You could just do stop hint to make sure there's no hints showing or something like that. Or if there's a hint showing, you can turn to disable it this way. Let's keep going through the list. Hint block, so this is just a specific hint you want to block from ever showing up. You can do that here. You can just specify the same way as we did before with the hint category and the hint entry. This is if you want to draw the hints as a specific size. If you don't want to use the default and you want to make it larger, you can specify sizes here. You can see what current hint is showing. You can check if there is one showing. Hint release, I don't have a definition for this one. Set can show hints. you can set whether or not hints will show. So if you don't want any hints to show whatsoever in your level, for example, you can just set this to false, like in your on start in your on start function. We can go up here and I could show you guys, like on start or on setup here. You can put that in there and stop any hints from showing up whatsoever in your level. Useful if you don't really want to use hints, and Amnesia Rebirth tends to have hints show even in your custom story, so could be useful if that's something you want to do. So let's keep going through these. There's not too many more left. So you know, we got let's see, where were we? Okay, I can't show hints. Set pause. You can pause a hint. Show the hold ones. I believe the hold ones, when you're holding an object in your hand, like a lantern, you can have the message stay on the screen until the lantern is like put away. Or you can, I believe there's one additional value you can do. Yeah, I think for the regular hint here, you can do an auto release time, so it will stop after a while. I don't have a definition for this one, I don't believe, but let me see if I can interpret this one for you. Okay, yeah, so this one you can like specify a color. So you do the same thing, but looks like you can specify a color. Same thing with this one, specifying a color. And then the last one is just unblocking a hint from showing. So if there's a hint that we blocked earlier, you know, with the block command, we can go ahead and unblock it. We can go ahead and unblock it. So that's pretty much it for a majority of the hints functions. I would encourage you guys to play with those if there's any of those that you you really want to play with. And if you guys have any problems, you can always leave a comment and let me know if you have any questions. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to wrap it up here. I've been changing the format of these videos a little bit. I've been trying to include a little bit more scripting because I know a lot of guys have been asking for more scripting, and I think these kind of help us kind of learn a little bit more of how you do the programming here in your script file. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll be talking more about global variables and stuff like that, and more of this, you know, if else stuff, and it's a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get more involved and do some more cool topics. I know you guys have been requesting a lot of good stuff, and I can't wait to get to that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure you leave a like, you comment on the video, and you subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks. Bye.